All right.
So I was at home doing the dishes when Jonathan came home from worship practice one day, and he walked in and looked as if he had seen a ghost. His eyes were huge. He had teary eyes, and he started stuttering out, trying to explain what just happened.
Not really stuttering.
Well, just trying to explain what had just happened on his way home, on his drive home from worship practice. And I'm gonna let him explain, because it just sounded to me like he'd just been taken into this open vision.
It was crazy.
And it was pretty incredible, and it really seemed like it was the start to something huge, like a God dream, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense at the time.
Well, we ended up talking about it till the wee hours of the night.
And for the next year.
As well. It was like the start of a journey. But it was earlier that night, probably 20 minutes before coming home and her seeing me look like I'd seen a ghost, that I'm pulling out of the church. I was with a local church doing a worship practice or a rehearsal, and pulled out, and no sooner did I pull out on the street that I just completely got, it was like I was taken to this open vision. And I've never had an experience like this where it felt like I was watching a movie, but I was in the movie that I was watching. And not only that, but I could feel and experience everything from the perspective of a boy that I knew was 14 years old. It was as if I could experience what he was experiencing, feel what he was feeling. It was crazy.
Like you had the eyes of the Holy Spirit, right? Like you were, Holy Spirit with this kid is how he had described it to me.
Like that kind of perspective. And so I found myself on a school bus and driving past suburban America is what it looked like. Just, house after house, yard after yard. And I could see every detail. The detail on the bus, I could see the tear on the seat in front of me, dark brown leather or faux leather, and even like smell the smells. It was the most crazy experience. And so the bus starts slowing down and pulls up to this just row of houses, and the boy gets up and gets off the bus and runs up to his doorstep, but then kind of quietly opens the door, and I could hear to the left there was a living room, and then there was a dining room and a kitchen, and I could hear and see just off in the distance his mom and dad. They were yelling at each other, just arguing, didn't even notice that he had come through the door. And I got the impression that this was a very common occurrence, that this happened all the time. And so he kicks off his shoes, runs up the stairs. His door was the first door to the right, above the garage. And as he's closing his door and taking off his backpack, behind the door it revealed that he had a desk and his computer there. And as soon as he looked at his computer, I felt what he was feeling, which was an overwhelming desire to get on the computer. And due to my past and my experiences and some of my struggles when I was a young man, I thought that maybe he was going to look at something that he shouldn't look at. And so instantly my heart leapt inside and said, oh no, what kind of vision is this? But it was very surprising, because I could hear the voice of the Lord in that moment say, Jonathan, never forget that I'm the desire of the nations. And it was as if he was saying, what you can experience, what you've seen online doesn't come close to experiencing me. And I know that to be true, but that's not the overwhelming approach of the world, is, that kind of heart. And so he sits down and he gets on the computer, opens up this website, and I can see the website, and it was like one that I'd never seen before, because it was very immersive. It was like the people that were worshiping on the other side, it wasn't inviting him to watch this performance or watch this music video. It was literally an immersive worship encounter. And it was like he was sucked into the moment of worship. and I could feel from his toes up like hot fire filling him up, and this passion being overwhelming passion being just stirred and ignited in his heart. And as it's rising up, it hits his chest and his head, and it's like he's flooded with just the experiencing the power of God in his life right in that moment. And so he stands up and opens his door quietly, confidently, and with the security that he didn't walk through the door with. Walks down the stairs, comes around the corner, and there's Mom and Dad over in the dining room still going at it. And he just begins to walk up to them. They stop yelling as they see him, and I think they felt him before they saw him, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, just they could feel the atmosphere shift as he gets closer to him. And walks right up, and I didn't hear him say a word to them, but they dropped down to their knees, and it was as if I felt reconciliation in the family. They instantly gave their hearts to the Lord, and it was like that whole family was just turned. And then I'm out of, as soon as I was in the moment, I was sucked out of it, and I heard the word unfiltered. And that began a conversation for the next couple of months, really, not only with Tiffany, but also with the Lord, just dreaming with him about what it would be like to have a fully immersive tool online to just encounter God. And what it would be like to not have one that isn't based on performance or look at me, but look at him, and showing a people in unity, casting their crowns at his feet, and really honestly worshiping him in spirit and in truth. And so this conversation turned also into what I felt was the Lord giving us a task that's impossible for us, because I'm not a website builder, I'm not a videographer, I don't know a thing about recording, hardly at all. I'm just a worshiper with a guitar, and so it didn't make sense. It's like, why, God, would you invite me into this, and yet I'm not capable. I'm not the person that you should have do this. But we went ahead and just started, reallocated the money that we had for an album, and just started to go for it. And God led this entire team of people around us that was more than just a team focused on the task, but that captured the heart of the vision, and our friends and their family, and they're a tribe. It really is our family.
It turned into a closer family. It turned into a group of people that really caught this vision that wasn't just him or him and I. It was recognized by our community that it was really a dream that was in God's heart, and it actually pulled us closer together, and it created family within worship. We already had that, but it's just been taken to the next level, and it's been incredible because nobody's interested in giving another performance, and really that's not what the world needs. The world doesn't need another concert, a performance. Those things are really good, but Jesus said, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men into myself. So we get to do what we're created to do, which is just worship him. And if we worship him, then he takes care of the rest, and we can invite people into this encounter with him, and to be able to offer that is really incredible. So despite the fact that we're just on this crazy ride with the Lord, he knows what he's doing, and we're really excited to get to be a part of it.
It's amazing. It's kind of crazy because we don't really plan it. We just have worshipers, and we kind of come up with some songs that we're gonna maybe launch into, but we don't really structure it. We just hit record and go for it. And yet we wanted to capture with high quality video, and we wanted to capture with high quality audio at the same time as keeping that raw feel. Like you're in a living room with us, just hanging out with us and with the Lord. And so here we are, a year later, a little over a year later, and we're just launching this thing. And already I'm seeing and hearing from people just about how they're encountering the Lord. through this.
Amazing
And
testimonies.
A lot of testimonies and healings, and you know, it's really celebrating uncut, raw, real, honest, just worship. Without all the stages and performance stuff. Not that we're against that, but it's just not who we are. I'm not a good performer. And even that's one of the parts that's most exciting about this is individually, nobody on the team in and of themselves is the superstar. Not one of us. We're just hungry worshipers. And so we're really trying to show in part what just hunger and what people that really honestly just worship Him and cast their crowns at His feet, what that does. And it's been extravagant, beyond what any superstar could do.
It's good.
Awesome. So that's it.